welcome to the Madras Motor Racetrack. We're on the grid and it's the first race of the weekend. It's Formula LGB. You can see the cars are ready. There's been lots of action so far in this category with the practice sessions and qualifying. So what's going to happen in this race? We do not know. Over to your commentator, David Adderton.
Thanks, Louise. It should be action all the way because these cars across free practice, across qualifying, have been across the grass, across the curbs, you name it. We've had lots of drama. We've had quite a bit of damage as well. And hooray, these aren't racing cars with aerodynamic aids. They are wingless single-seaters. They're 1300 cc Suzuki Swift engined cars. They bolt out about 90 to 100 brake horsepower. The cars built by the LG Balakrishnan brothers, hence Formula LGB, and you've got two championships within one in a sense because there is a rookie championship and there is the national championship as well. The man to beat across qualifying was one of the national drivers, Anjan Patodia, who is also a rookie. There he is as he blasts away from pole position on this green flag lap. Patodia taking his first car racing pole position earlier on today, so he very much the man to watch. One or two of the stragglers getting away, including the yellow car of Clinton Braganza, who had a big spin today and yesterday had a mechanical problem that stopped him out by the side of the road. So this grid is headed by Anand Patodia with Prashanth K on the inside of the staggered grid. The second row has Bhushan Tareja and Chetan Korada lining up alongside. Chetan Korada, who is one of the drivers doing both this and also the 1600cc category this weekend. We've got a number of drivers doing double duty. You make the most of your racing weekends here. The third row of the grid is where you find Ritwik Thomas, number 39, and 25, Sri Venkata Teja, who was a man on the grass quite spectacularly at the start of the qualifying session. This track, 3.717 kilometres long. It's got a great mix of some fast bits, some very tight and twisty technical bits, a couple of long, fast straights thrown in for good measure as well. And for these drivers, it's going to be important to try and keep out of trouble because overtaking is not that easy, even allowing for the fact these don't have wings. So track position, once you've earned it, you should be able to keep. Let's see whether it is going to be that way because errors have been made across lots of different categories all weekend. Anjan Patodia is then at the front with Prashanth K alongside him. The second row is Bhushan Tareja and Chetan Korada with Ritwik Thomas and Sri Venkata Teja for company. Arya Singh will start on row 4 with Manas Madan alongside. Then it is Yash Aradia and Vinesh Chand to round out the top 10 on the grid. So it's an 8-lap race that we have in prospect. You can see how full the field is, so I expect plenty of drama all the way through the field here as the cars work their way round towards the one-by-one staggered grid formation. At the rear of the grid, Venkatesh Shreyas in number 14. So everybody with the same chassis, and it once again puts the emphasis on driver ability here as the cars are so evenly matched. The rookie drivers, in one or two cases, may have taken part in a different car championship but can't win a title before they move into the rookie class. Others stepping straight out of karting or with no previous racing experience whatsoever. 8 laps in prospect then. Take a big deep breath and get ready because, as I say, this should be a very lively race indeed as the field now starts to slot into position. We should have 22 cars all told ready to go. So it is Anjan Patodia who lines up at the front. With him is Prashanth K. The second row of the grid is complete with Bhushan Tareja and then the white car of Chetan Korada. The next row of the grid is Ritwik Thomas, and lining up with him is Sri Venkata Teja, and the field starts to slot into place. Arya Singh will be a man to watch as well, trying to work his way up from the 4th row. There, number 10 you saw a moment ago, Bhushan Tareja lining up 3rd. And as soon as we get the indication given by the marshal at the back that everybody is where they should be, then we can get set ready for racing. There'll be a 5-second board. The lights on the gantry will go red. When all 5 lights are red, they'll go out. The race gets underway with a good start being made by the front row, with a bad start being made by midfield, and some cars being stranded completely. The best getaway of all, Prashant K from the inside of the grid, and he's going to lead as they get down towards turn 1 for the first time then, as they work their way through the right-hander. Prashant K leads the way. Everybody else then accelerates now up towards turn 2 with a very defensive chop being offered up by Chetan Karada, number 7, to try to keep number 12 Arya Singh behind him. One runs wide, gets away with it. Clinton Braganza spins in the background though. The yellow car rotates, the leader gets away with it and starts to gap the opposition. So Prashant K here pulling away. In second spot at the moment is Bhushan Tarija, and then you've got Ritvik Thomas behind. So the pole man, Anjan Patodia, his first car racing pole, therefore his first standing start from a pole position. It was not a good one. He is, what, 6th as they work their way up towards the S's, where 1 or 2 run way wide and find all the dirt slither off the circuit. So that's going to cost Tarija some time, amongst others. Patodia now comes up round the outside. The one that never got away on the grid was number 25, which was Sri Venkata Tija, who should have started 6th on the grid, and that car being pushed down the pit lane. So if it starts at all, it will be from the pits, but it didn't get going from the grid. Everybody managed to avoid it. Clinton Braganza's car has got going as well after its spin. That's towards the rear of the field now as they come down towards turn 8 for the first time, with Patodia getting himself up on the inside of Chetan Karada. Then in number 7 there's another rather sideways car there. Look, number 11 Ayun Shari. He had a spin in the qualifying session as well, so it's in strife once more. Patodia now recovering from his pop start. He's got himself up past Karada and Arya Singh as well, or has he? Because yes, there you've got Karada slotting in behind. Bhushan Tarija also having lost some time by his moment at the S's, trying to play catch up as well as the cars work their way up towards the end of lap 1 of 8. The best lap in qualifying was a 1:52, and there, I'm afraid, in trouble, Bala Prasad, who also had a crash in free practice 2 yesterday. There's one on the grass and all sideways coming out of the last corner. 39 it was. Ritvik Thomas, he survives the slide, but Anjan Patodia on the outside line, though, he's going to go through their wheel-to-wheel into turn 1. Patodia does it. He goes round the outside, so recovering from his duff start. Anjan Patodia, 3rd at the end of that one, now 2nd, way out into the weeds goes Arya Singh, and a spin and contact behind, mayhem behind, in fact, because that is Chetan Nagawara, who has nailed Vinesh Chand. Big damage for Nagawara's car, and that's broken up the pack big time. But there's a big gap now where everybody had to take evasive action. There are more cars off at turn 2, so Prashant K leads now. In 2nd is Anjan Patodia, 3rd is Ritvik Thomas, and then in 4th place should be Bhushan Tarija. And the yellow flags wave because there's another car off up the road. That's Bala Prasad. That's in an awkward place, I would have thought. This has the whiff of safety car about it now, do you not feel? But the race leading gap has come right down because Prashant K there perhaps was a bit more respectful of the waved yellows than was the man behind him. So now Anjan Patodia is closing up, and we do indeed get the safety car. The safety car legend is flashing on the timing screen. They race until they get to the boards, and so now Anjan Patodia goes for the race lead on the outside down towards turn 8, and he sees the flag, raises a hand to say, yeah, I've clocked it, thank you. Slows down, gives the lead back then to Prashant K, who also hand aloft says, I'm slowing, I've seen the flag. So now everybody will slot into position. Back onto the track goes. Yet another errant one. And everybody now will slot into place. So time for a big deep breath. Safety car on track. And the race order, Prashant K ahead of Anjan Patodia after his duff start. He's recovered quite well from it. And then in 3rd place, it should now be Ritvik Thomas. But lots of very frustrated drivers. And it was Chetan Nagawara who ran wide at turn 1. Came across the road and collected others as he went. I think Vinesh Chand was one of them. We're going to replay no doubt soon. So this gives everybody else a chance to catch up. All of these laps count as well within the 8, so it's not that they're added on at the end. Over the timing line, a bit of weaving was going on. I just observed out of the window from Prashant K to try and keep the tyre pressures up and the heat in the tyres. There he is. It's not that vigorous weaving, but he's at least putting some life and effort and work through the rubber. Clinton Braganza comes over the timing line there, number 46 from the yellow car. He is now 11th. So Nagawara and Chand, the 2 we lost. Here's the replay of the start, and you see it was just a dreadful getaway by Anjan Patodia. Completely bogged down, cars streaming past him. And he was, what, 5th going into turn 1, so dreadful getaway. He fared better, though, than, look, there, stationary, Sri Venkata Tija, who goes absolutely nowhere. Whether that was a stall or a breakage We'll find out post-race perhaps, but the car had to be pushed into the pit lane, and not entirely sure it ever got going from there. So a retirement was 25. There it is from the high shot as everybody's able to dodge around him. And the cars accelerate down to turn 1, but there, T-Jet going nowhere. Patodia good initially off the line, but then as they went up through the gears, bogged down. Concern from the marshals, they fear the worst, but everybody managed to dodge around the stationary car. And then the signal was given to go and retrieve the driver. That was the S's, where 1 or 2 ran wide onto the dust and were compromised. And what we hadn't seen initially was the lose from number 4, Jason Huggins, and everybody just got around him, but then he was caught in the middle of the road. So people having to be very respectful of getting around the stricken car. And then there was the fun and games coming out of turn 1. So have a look in the background. Wide, first of all, goes 12. That's Arya Singh. But then Chetan Nagawara, it doesn't go as wide, but the car comes across the road, hits Vinesh Chand, drilled him. And there was a third car involved as well, I suspect. Into the pit lane has just come Vinesh Chand with his damage. But no argument about the fact that Chetan Nagawara's car, with its broken suspension, is out of the race. We're on lap 3 of 8 here at the Kotai circuits in Sriperumbudur, and the safety car leads this Formula LGB 1300 category, race 1 of the weekend. Race being led by Prashant K after a good start. He was on the front row of the grid, second rank for this. Outdragged poleman Anjan Padodia, and so now leads the way as the cars work their way up towards the end of the lap. Have a look for when the lights go out atop the safety car. They're not out yet, so there's going to be at least 1 more lap. The Volkswagen safety car is the other car that needs retrieval. Bala Prasad's car is stranded over at turn 6. There are 2 more, I think we've not, 1 more we've not accounted for. We know about Sri Venkata Teacher's car that was in the pits, and the race is being stopped. So we've just had down the pit road come Anjan Patodia, but the race has been stopped. So safety car to a red flag, and question 1 is why the red, and question 2 is why Patodia for the pit lane. So the race interrupted. I suspect there is some reason why they can't get to Bala Prasad's car to retrieve it easily, but it didn't look damaged, so I'm not quite sure why there is the issue there. Anyway, the race is stopped, and we will await news. So Prashant K, rather hoping that's the end of it, because he will have a win. I don't think it's going to be the end of it, but let us wait to see what happens next. So the field has stopped coming out of turn 12. It's still under part fair make condition, so nobody yet being allowed onto the grid. And we understand that it is Bala Prasad's car that's got some sort of breakage, and it therefore needs to have the crane get to it, and that's not the fastest machine in the world, so it will take quite a while to get it out there, do the operation and bring the car back, and that would potentially mean you ended up with about 1 lap at the end. And so they have stopped it rather than waste too much time. So there is the crane on its way. So we've dispatched Louise down the pit lane to go and find out why Anjan Patodia came in, because of course he was running second in the queue, but he was one that came down the pit road. So as soon as the officials are happy, the cars will be brought forward. The next question is whether or not Patodia is going to be allowed to start second for the restart if it picks up at the end of 2 laps, or whether he's going to have to start from the pit lane. So there is 1 car making its way from the pit lane back round to the grid. We'll be able to pick that up shortly, I think. See where, it is Patodia, yes, so that kind of answers the question. He's coming out anyway. So the grid is formed, or forming, ready for the continuation after this race suspension. Let's just have another look at the start. Anjan Patodia slow away, being out-dragged by Prashanth K on the inside of the grid. The pole is where the grip is on the racing line on the outside, but little good did it do Patodia as he fell down the order. The yellow car of Clinton Braganza spun at the next corner. There, failing to get away, stranded on the grid, Sri Venkata Tija, who thankfully was missed by everybody. So that car, we did get off the track. Everybody else battled past him. Here again from the high angle. One or two getting a bit close, but thankfully, the beauty of a staggered grid is there's a bit more space around everybody. Great concern by the marshals, but in the end, they were not to do anything more than push a car out of harm's way. It wasn't that they had to retrieve lots of damaged cars, thankfully. This was the S's on the first lap, people running a bit wider. And then it was Jason Huggins in number 4 who got it wrong, drifted wide, and around he went. And then the reason for the stoppage, or one of the reasons for the stoppage, the incident that eliminated Chetan Nagawara. Aya Singh was the first one to go wide, and then across the road came Nagawara. He hit the car of Vinesh Chand, and there was another one in that group as well, I think, that got involved, which may well have been Yash Aradya's car, number 17. I think that was the other one in that group. So Sri Venkata Tija, we understand, is trying to take part in the restart. Now, it'll be the result from part 2, and the car's now being put into grid formation for that. So, Prashanth K this time will start on pole, with 32 lining up this time with him at the front of the grid. So Anjan Patodia this time gets the inside line. So there is Patodia then on the inside this time. Timing screen has 4 laps for part 2. So that is what we are anticipating being the restart duration. So the order is going to be as it was at the end of lap 2 to give us this restart grid. Now you can see the front. Number 6 ready to go. There you can see the back of the grid starting to come into place. Last few cars into position, but there will of course be a few missing. Whether or not Sri Venkat Tija should be allowed to take this restart is a moot point, because he didn't do the first part really. 4 laps, says the board. So that's the front, or the middle of the grid, working forwards. 4 laps it's going to be. And 1 or 2 drivers seeing if the damage can be made good they can have a go at the restart. So, shame the race had to be interrupted. Well, we haven't yet got to the bottom of. Maybe Louise can find this out from the grid. Is why Anjan Patodia made his pit stop. The 5-minute board is shown. Now, the driver that stalled on the grid, Sri Venkata is scampering around apparently, trying to ascertain from officials whether or not he's going to be allowed to take the start here. And as yet, officialdom haven't told him. But because he wasn't running at the time of the red flag, that might count against him anyway. The 5-minute board has been shown. There will be one formation lap, then the cars will be released, and we can get, hopefully, this race through to the end without further dramas. Got, as I say, 4 racing laps ahead of us. 3-minute board now shown. And Prashant K, crash helmet on, ready to go. I'll get a formation lap as well. So with the racing lap they had, plus safety car laps, plus formation laps, they need to make sure that the cars aren't low on fuel by the end, so that's why it's reduced down to 4 laps. So you've got this extra formation lap to take into account. Now the story about Sri Venkata is now that the car is at the end of the pit lane. On the off chance he might be allowed to start, he has gone to find out. That's what's left of the crumpled car of Chetan Nagawara after its incident. So I think we're just about good to go, are we not? Anjan Patodia having a word with the officials. 1 minute to go, so everybody now clears the grid. There's one car though there with a problem. Now we understand that the reason that Patodia pitted was for a drive-through penalty for a jump start. News of that never reached us, but he was serving a drive-through penalty for a jump start, or an out-of-position start. Ironic, isn't it, that he jumped the start, but it was a dreadful start anyway because he lost all those places, and then he copped a penalty on the back of it. But he has served it, and fingers crossed, therefore, that penalty now goes away, and he can concentrate on the restart, which is about to get underway. Everybody away from the grid now, down towards turn 1. So as the 1300s work their way around the first corner, 14 turning through, which is one of those to be found near the rear of the grid, Venkatesh Shreyas. And if the car of Sri Venkata is allowed to start, it will be now from the pit lane. So the MRF VIPs look on. The big white building in the background there is the new race control and hospitality building that's being built for the second circuit. You'll see just behind the marquee there's a sort of link road that gives you a club circuit and then the international circuit, but part of Vicky Chandhok's great plan for the circuit is to be able to have that building operational, so you can use effectively the east and west circuits independent of one another, a bit like Silverstone can do, for example. And so that building in operation, and the old pit's also due to be replaced with more modern structures for the future as well. And the VIP area out in the middle of the circuit there, offering a good view of some of the twisty corners. So down now towards turn 8 comes number 1. Prashanth K, starting initially second on the grid, but now on pole position for this restart. Green flags around the circuit, and they'll form back up on the grid, and then we'll try again. Only 4 racing laps then for the 1300s. So can this time around number 32 Anjan Patodia make a better getaway and be able to challenge? Let's see. It, as I said, was quirky that it was a jump even though it lost in places, but unless he sort of bolted forward and then hesitated thinking, oh, have I jumped it, and that's why he got bogged down. Anyway, he gets a reset here in a way by this being a completely separate race. It's the result at the end of this that determines the result. There's not an aggregate to worry about. So to the line they come, and Prashanth K this time around is the pole position driver. We have lost quite a few, it looks, from earlier on. So 4 racing laps we have in prospect. Medical car slots into place at the rear of the grid, and we should then be ready to go. It is, as I say, a rather depleted grid compared to what we had earlier, but the lights, all 5 of them are now red. Out they go, we're racing. Good start by Prashanth K from pole position, and he moves across and defends the line, and once again, I'm afraid, not a good start by Anjan Patodia as they make the run down now towards turn 1. Through they turn then for the first time, making the run now up towards turn 2, and this is Prashanth K then who leads the pack at the moment. Turning their way through turns 2 and 3, Prashanth K leads, second spot behind him. It is a good getaway by number 6, Manas Madan, because that was a car from 5th on the grid as they work their way then now up towards the S's for the first time in this restart. And let's see as they work their way now through the next sequence whether a challenge by Ritwik Thomas will come to anything on the inside line. He tries, and he does gain second place. He's going to be on the tail of the race leader as well as they work their way now up towards turn 6. Again, he tries on the inside line, but can't quite do it. They come though for the first time. Ritwik Thomas then gaining second spot, running way wide, and also in strife Manas Madan being put on the dirt and on the grass. He spins as he heads back to the circuit. Is he going to eliminate anybody, or has he got away with it? The yellows vigorously wave in the background. There's only 1 car off seemingly, so Manas Madan has had a big lose but got away with it there around the outside now. Number 10 Bhushan Tarija second, but sideways loses a place, possibly 2. Ritwik Thomas tried to fight back, but in the end it is Anjan Patodia who retakes his second position. So again, it was a bad start by Patodia, but he's managed to make up for that on this restart lap as they work their way then around turn 10 through the left-hander. Prashanth K, however, has built a gap, hasn't he, while they've all been squabbling around him. Anjan Patodia is second. In third place is Ritwik Thomas as they come over the brow down towards turn 12, and then got in 4th spot, which is where he started, Bhushan Tarija. Behind him now is Arya Singh. So Manas Madan was the one who made a great getaway from 5th on the grid, and then it all went Pete Tong midway around the lap when he got squeezed onto the grass. Leaders go through. Prashanth K is 11/10ths up on Anjan Patodia. Ritwik Thomas runs 3rd. Battle on there for 4th and 5th. Bhushan Tarija just ahead of Arya Singh now. Out of turn 1, which was where we had the dramas in race 1, part 1. And through turn 2 now comes Singh looking for a way past Tarija, but the real question mark is about Patodia. What can he do now to have a go back at the race leader Prashanth K? Cars accelerate their way up towards the S's, and the gap's coming down between the leaders, no question about that. So as you look in the background, Jason Huggins having a bit of a battle to contend with. Prashanth K being caught by Anjan Patodia. There, 3rd and falling back is Ritwik Thomas, but it's the leading 2 then, has 1 pretty much now, and under real pressure Prashanth K, because Anjan Patodia in 32 tucked up behind him. Now where, if at all, can he find a way through? We know that overtaking is not that easy around here, but Podium having a really good go. He gets up the inside line as they work their way towards turn 7. The run now on the straight down towards turn 8. They're going to be absolutely side by side on the inside line. Prashant K on the outside line is Anjan Patodia. Patodia breaks as late as he dares, can't do it. So it's going to be Prashant who leads, and he gets ever so slightly crossed up through the corner. Patodia thinks about the inside line for the next corner, can't do it at turn 9. And now there's the run down towards the King that brings them back down the straight to turn 10. Bit of a lock-up from Patodia, a little bit of task make evident, but he's right on the tail of the leader. Prashant K, in fairness, doing a very good job here of defending. This is lap 2 of 4. They work their way over the brow, and the drive-through has to be served again, because that part of the race with the red flag deemed only to give you the grid, not a result. And so now Anjan Patodia has to serve the drive-through legitimately, you might argue, and he comes over the timing line then. Prashant K on his own. Ritvik Thomas now second. Third on his tail is Bhushan Thareja. Arya Singh is fourth as they turn up towards turn 2. Bhushan Thareja has done the fastest lap of the race, and now he tries to make the move on the inside of Thomas. Can't quite do it on the way up towards turn 2, not for the want of trying, but Arya Singh gets the inside at turn 3. They're in the white car. That door was soon closed as well. Bhushan Thareja tried to attack, ended up having to defend like mad, because right there behind him now is Arya Singh, who just had Chetan Korada down the pit lane as well. Manas Madan, incidentally, after his good start, and then the spin, never survived it. He is another retirement from what has been a rather bruising race. 22 we initially had, and we're a lot short of that now. We're even shorter. Sheikh Najib Ahmed has gone AWOL, so that's another car off. He was running in 8th place. And the race officials are getting ready with a black flag, by the look of it, for Manas Madan. 29 is off the road as well. That is Sricharan V. So we're losing quite a few of them as the race wears on. We're on lap 3 of 4, a side-by-side. Ritvik Thomas and Bhushan Thareja run down towards turn 8. It is Thomas who hangs onto the position, but only just. Jay Anand from MRF, from JA Motorsport, and Arun Hammond from MRF watching on in the pit lane as the leaders then accelerate their way towards the end of the lap. But Prashant K now pretty much on his own. If anything, the battle is on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Ritvik Thomas ahead of Bhushan Thareja, and then Arya Singh in number 12, the white car. So for the moment, it is Thomas hanging onto the advantage for 2nd place, but way up the road now, Prashant K. Now the other question is, where after his enforced pit stop has that dropped Anjan Patodia to? Change for 2nd place on the inside at turn 1 as Bhushan Thareja goes through, but he goes wide, and Thomas retakes the place, and here comes Arya Singh as well, number 12 up the inside. There was a gesture there which might have been to say retake the place because there was a yellow flag, but no. Oh, possibly somebody off just further up the road. Yes, there was a yellow. So Arya Singh does the right thing, cedes the place, and 37 up against the wall. So Sheikh Najib Ahmed, another one that we had seen parked by the side of the track, that was where it was. There's another car up the road. Now Arya Singh has dropped a long way back into the clutches of Arun Shourie. Have a look for number 11 that's on the outside line there, but Singh just breaks a bit later for the S's, but he's going to go deep, he's going to get on the marbles, he's going to go all over the grass. Shourie goes through, oh so nearly gets wiped out by Singh as he rejoins all sideways. So Arjun Shourie then runs wide, Arun Shourie being delayed, and that's going to bring Yash Aranya into the mix as well. It's all kicking off again for everybody seemingly apart from Prashant K. Now, what about Patodia after the stop? He is running 7th. What can he salvage from there before the very end of the race? He ought to be able to gain some more ground, I would have thought. But this is the last lap, and Prashant K looks like it's going to be an easy win in the end. He had to defend while he had Patodia behind him, but he was able to make good his escape after the drive-through. Arya Singh now tries to come back at Arun Shourie behind the pair of them. The battle take effect. There's a spin there, takes Shourie out of contention altogether. So Arun Shourie, not for the first time this weekend, loses it. This is for 2nd, Ritvik Thomas versus Bhushan Thareja. The checkered flag is waved at the race winner though, and Prashant K comes through to win There's second place, Ritwik Thomas and Bhushan Thareja, who is going to be fourth over the timing line. Arya Singh ahead of Yash Aradia, and Anjan Patodia sixth after the drive-through. So we got there in the end. It was 4 lively laps of racing, but a great shame that we had the delay and the interruption. The rest of the field pouring over the line, with 7th after his spin, Arun Shourie, 8th Jason Huggins, in 9th place Kamala Kannan, and Rupesh Siva Kumar taking 10th place. So Prashanth K ending up as a race winner. Shows how you can't read everything into a qualifying session, doesn't it? Because what we have there, somewhat different from how the times were at the end of the qualifying session earlier on. Prashanth K's winning margin, 5.3 seconds. Perhaps it's no surprise to know that Anjan Patodia did the fastest lap of the race on the last lap as well, so he was certainly all fired up. So the cars will make their way down towards Parc Fermé. We'll have a grab with race winner Prashanth. Ritwik Thomas taking 2nd place from number 39, and then in 3rd place number 10, Bhushan Thareja. The margin between those two as they came across the line, just a 1/5 of a second, but it was 5 seconds, 1st to 2nd. So Prashanth K, Ritwik Thomas and Bhushan Thareja, the ones that we will have for the podium. And if I'm really clever, I can try and work out, I suspect, who the winning rookies that as well, because you've got the 2 different championships, and the best would be Ritwik Thomas, 2nd place overall, so he is the winning rookie as well, Ritwik Thomas, number 39. But Prashanth K is the first race winner of the weekend here in Chennai. He makes his way down the pit road. Behind is Ritwik Thomas, and then Bhushan Thareja for 3rd spot. The checkered Parc Fermé area awaits the cars for the drivers required for the podium, the cars for Parc Fermé. And in a moment or two, they will be whisked towards Louise, who's ready to have a word with our top 3 drivers. And then, of course, the podium will beckon for them as well. So Prashanth K, 5 seconds clear of everybody else in the end. And Ritwik Thomas, Bhushan Thareja will go with him. And the winning drivers clamber out of the cars. And Louise is there, ready to have a word with the top 3.
It was all in that start, wasn't it? And obviously a great drive defending.
Yeah, I was just focusing on the start. I got a very good start both the times. The restart also, I was focusing on the start. After that, the other driver got the drive-through penalty, which made my race, much more comfortable. So I was very comfortably leading the race. Not big pressure from behind.
Well done, thank you. Now I'm just going to try and find 2nd and 3rd place. They seem to have run off. So David, back to you, and I'll see if I can get hold of them.
I did see them scampering, but I think they were going towards the podium. Let's see. There are some drivers near the podium itself, but Ritwik Thomas and Bhushan Thareja will not have gone far, I hope, because they are required not just for interviews but for the podium ceremony as well. Ritwik Thomas had a busy race, both he and Bhushan Thareja battling all the way, and the 2 of them ending up just a 1/5 of a second apart. Ritwik Thomas 2nd and Bhushan Thareja in 3rd place. Ritwik Thomas, the best of the rookie drivers that we have in this first Formula 1300 race of the weekend. So let's join Louise once more to have a word with 2nd and 3rd.
Well, yes, Ritwik Thomas, you did make it 2nd there. That was a great battle between you and Bhushan.
Thank you. I mean, it was quite hard. The car was it was lovely throughout the race. I mean, I had a little bit of a temperature issue towards the end, but then it was lovely fighting with these guys at the back. It was amazing, honestly. And great job for these guys. I mean, they were right behind me. I had nowhere to go, but yeah, it was a good race. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And moving on to Bhushan, who was also in the rookie category, so has taken the rookie win.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah. So you're 2nd, yeah. No, actually, the first race, it's a lovely race, an amazing, incredible feeling actually being on the podium. So yeah, I was pushing the whole race, and my tires I think were going out, so losing grip around some corners. But yeah, I kept pushing. Then I was putting pressure on him for second actually. When there was another guy who was pushing on pressure on me for third place. So yeah, finally third place. I'm happy with that for now. Next race, I'm aiming for first.
Yeah, and I must apologise to Ritvik because, of course, he did take that rookie.
Yeah. So it's okay, no problem. First race. Okay, I was aiming for much second or first. Yeah, I'll settle the third. Yeah, that's fine for now.
Great, thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
So confirmation, Ritvik Thomas, the winning rookie. Bhushan Thareja right behind him. Great battle between the two. Let's confirm the way they came across the line. Prashant K, the race winner. Ritvik Thomas second from Bhushan Thareja. Arya Singh, in the end, got fourth. They dropped back quite spectacularly. And then in fifth, Yash Aradia, who in some respects was quite fortunate to get to the end, or get to the restart, because of course he was involved in the incident with Chagawara that partly interrupted the race initially. Now, as the drivers for the rookie contest make their way onto the podium, and the end of a very hectic race, the top three rookie drivers receive the applause. And Arun Mamman will step forward to hand over the trophies.
Second place, Bhushan Thareja. And the winner, Ritvik Thomas from Monaco. The winner for Ritvik Thomas is Shiva from Monaco. Shiva, come on please.
So those drivers from the 1600 category receiving trophies and will pose for photographs. Team representatives are there as well.
We have one more category, which is the FLGB 1300 National Championship category.
And the FLGB podium is also being conducted from earlier on in the day, the 1300cc drivers. And so the top three drivers now on the podium. Bhushan Thareja is the man who takes second place. And this is K. Prashant, who will be on the top step of the podium. So the earlier race that was held a couple of hours ago was for the Formula 1300 cars, and that was a win for K. Pravansh, who is there on the top step of the podium. Receives in a moment the trophy. And the winning team was Wallace Sports, which will be represented on the podium as well. But the winning rookie, Raghu Rangashami, is there. He's also going to be out in the 1600cc cars. So, the F1300 drivers let's look at the highlights of two races really. One didn't last long, but when the cars did get going for the second time, it was very lively indeed. But the first time of asking, it was a bad start by Anjan Pathodia, but Jason Huggins was another driver in strife. He had his big spin going through the S's. Then we had Arya Singh off the road, And behind him, it was mayhem as Netan Chagawara had his spin and collected Vinesh Chand as he went through. But with also Bala Prasad's car off the road, it was necessary to stop the race, and we had to go all over again. Before that though, Prashant Thareja had a big slide and gifted some places back to Anjan Pathodia. The two of them ran nose to tail for the race lead, but it wasn't long before the fun was interrupted. There was the drive-through penalty looming over Anjan Pathodia. There was also the fact that the red flag had to be shown to retrieve errant cars. We got the race underway for the second time of asking. Great battle raged on for second and third between Ritwik Thomas and Prashant Thareja. Others though, like Arya Singh, very nearly came to grief as he ran over the grass and almost wiped out Arun Shourie. They squabbled their way towards the end, but then it was Shourie who had a spin. Round he went, and he in turn fell to 7th place as Prashant K took the flag to win the race. Second and third, Ritwik Thomas and Prashant Thareja, top two in the rookie competition as well, came through. It was a 5-second winning margin, but just a fifth of a second between second and third as Prashant K became a dominant winner of our first Formula LGB 1300 race of the weekend. So a great race for Prashant K, and there's more from the 1300cc single-seaters tomorrow here at Chennai. The drivers make their way to the podium. We've got more action to come here from the MMRT in a few minutes' time. For now, though, it's goodbye from Chennai.